guys, today I'm going to be doing a simple tutorial on how to sort of UV unwrap and texture this somewhat simple holographic site. So we're going to be using a lower poly in this case, you know, how they do with games. That's my main, I can't think of a word, that's sort of what I'm aiming for. And so what I want to do, I want to show this to you, and so what we're going to do is firstly UV unwrap it and mark some seams on it, and then what we're going to do is UV unwrap it, create a normal map, and then go into the texturing, which if you saw my axe tutorial you would know pretty easily. Anyways, so what we want to do is select this first low poly. By the way, you'll be able to download this in the description below. So yeah, we want to select the low poly, so you don't have to use this as a you don't have to use this model. You can use your own. It will still sort of work the same. It's just marking seams is a bit difficult to understand, so it'd help if you followed this one. Actually, we don't want to select the low poly one, we want to select the high poly one. This is the sort of annoying part. So what we want to do is we want to separate the different objects. It's just so that the shadows, how they work in normal maps, they're not being cast onto it from the other objects. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, don't yes, you see that's quite a mess. If you have a look, it is pretty bumpy, wavy and everything. That's because I decimated it just so it'd at least run fairly well when I'm trying to edit it. But hopefully this won't play part in the normal map because we won't be using high resolution normal maps. So yeah, we want to select the holographic site, and using the number pad we want to press 1 so that we can get to this view. If you just turn off these, so you should be able to get this view, but if you don't, it'll be because you'd probably be seeing this. So if you press 5 you should be able to get that. Anyways, what we want to do is we want to press tab, we go into edit mode, and we want to, like I said, separate these different objects. So we're going to move these two, select them, hit B, you pop up this menu kind of thing, and then you can drag down and select it, and then I just press, like, you only have to select a few vertices. Vertices are the little dots that you see. So make sure you have this ticked. Limit selection to visible. Well, you want to make sure that's in white, not dark grey. And then I pressed Control L, selected all the vertices that are selected. So now I just use this red arrow and move it out a little bit using my mouse. Okay. So that's in that place. The reason we're doing this with the high poly version first is because, as you can see, this is pretty damn laggy. By the way, you're gonna need a somewhat good computer for this. Mine isn't the best. You most likely, or probably will, have a better one than me, but I do recommend a good computer to do this. And we want to select this other one. I just want to show you what I am selecting. So I selected the button for NV, I don't know what that stands for, and then move that out, and now I'm selecting these things. I don't know what they're called, just sort of barriers above the up and down keys, which so I selected them, press Control L, and then just move it up. Just like, you want to move it so that's not in the way at all of the base, which is this part. If I just select some of that and press Control L, you want to keep that in the same place, just make it easier. and then we want to select, if you see very top, okay, so what we are selecting is the side panels. You can't see it because there's too many vertices, but we're just selecting this other part here. Do the same thing. Whoops, 5. 1. Control L, G, X, and then we'll just use our mouse. Put that about there. Now we need to select the screws. This is kind of a hard part actually, because of the decimation, which kind of makes it look, yeah, it kind of jags the vertices. So we wanted to just select this other screw. By now you practically got the point of it. I would pause like the video and do it all myself and then say, yeah, look, we've done it. But you sort of need to understand what we are selecting and moving. It's just practically any separate Okay, so if you just did what I did and still had this selected while you select these others, what you can do is if you press B and then hold shift, click and drag down over that, you can deselect that. So that's all good. So now we just want to move this out of the way, put that about there. Now we want to do it with this side, this other big screw. It's very impossible because of the jagged vertices. I'll just go like that. Hopefully I selected. Yep, did it. Let's move that somewhere. Anyway, doesn't really matter where it is in the world. It's just with the other low poly version you need to move that with it, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna move that there. Okay. Now that we've got all the separate parts, yeah, in different places, what we can do is just go ahead and do the same with the, we need that one selected. The same with the low poly version. Oh, I still have the high poly selected. By the way, with right click you can select the different objects. So right click, and I've selected the high poly one. I'll just name these actually. High poly, low poly. Just so when you're doing this tutorial, you know. Well, when you're on this Blender file. Okay, so this is the easy part because we haven't got the lag or anything. For you lucky bastards who have a really good computer out there, you wouldn't be having any lag anyways, but I will. So we're just moving this in the same line, about there. It doesn't need to be exact. Well, it sort of does, but sort of doesn't. Like normally I'm a perfectionist and I would like zoom all the way in and make sure it's exactly in line, but I can't be bothered right now. You can do that if you want. It will, in a way, help, but also not help. By the way, you probably see that if you like just move your mouse, if you press G, which lets you to move the thing that you selected around the axes, you move it pretty fast, and that's kind of off-putting. It's just like I can't line it up. So if you hold shift, it actually slows it down a lot, and that's helpful for getting precision. So I'm just gonna make sure that's lined up. Close enough. Done. And we just gotta put that there. And then just and we're done, practically. Okay, so I realize now that I already have the seams marked, so if you're following this tutorial, why do I keep saying if you're following this tutorial? If you have got this Blender file, it would be relatively easy. But if you're on a different, if you're using a different model, it's pretty hard. I might do a future video explaining how to do mark seams. I was trying to do one before with Suzanne, which is the monkey. I just can't. I can't even. It's too hard. So, yeah. We've got all the seams marked, so if you just have a look, if you're using a different model, but it's still a holographic site and it's very similar to the one I've got, I'll just recommend, like, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rotate around it. So just get a good look at this and just be like, okay, yeah, I know what to select now. And pause the video. Probably shouldn't have these visible because it would be stirring it up. Oh, so if you're using the model that I've provided you with, you can practically just skip this part. But no, I've already showed it. So yeah, that's practically everything done. All right. Okay, hold on. Just if you go back into the high poly, these screws actually need to be on where they should be. Oops. I forgot to deselect that. If it does get too laggy for you, for the things that you're not gonna select, if you just so this thing, because I'm not gonna move it, you can just like select some of it, Control L, or Control I accidentally pressed Control semicolon. I don't know what that does, and then press H, and it should hide it, and it should make it like a less laggy experience. And I'm just gonna do that with practically everything I see here, apart from the screws and the part where I've got to put it. Control L H. Now we're just gonna move these into where they should be, which is that very dot there. Okay, done. I generally am a perfectionist and would line that up, but because this is a very simple tutorial, I'm not going to, and you don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect. So yeah. We've practically done that. So now what we can do is, if we just select the low poly, after you've already got all the seams marked, you can mark seams, by the way, by you select a line. It's better if you use this thing, is edge select. So you can select each line, because the line is the one that's being affected, not the vertice. So so since I've selected those lines, I can just go Control E and mark seam. And if I did something wrong, I can go Control E, mark seam. So clear seam, I mean. So if I didn't like that's there, I can just Control E, clear seam. But I want that seam there, so mark seam. So, so if you have got all your seams marked, you can continue on. But if you haven't, I recommend that you do have your seams marked. Otherwise, UV unwrapping will not work properly. So as what I just did there is, there's about 3 or 4 lines at the top right, and you can just, if you click on that and drag it out, it'll come up with a second view. This second view is helpful because what we're going to do is we're going to press on this cube with the up and down arrows, and then go UV image editor. If you have rendered beforehand, or you are using the model that I provided you with, it'll probably come up with this grey squares and everything, what we just want to do is press X on render result, and we get this square with more grey squares, but that's what we want. So if we select every vertex here by double tapping A, or if you don't have anything selected, only pressing A once, you just want everything selected, so you can also just go B and select everything, but we just need everything selected. A is an easier way to do that, so yeah. So I've got the vertices marked, the UV unwrap version here, but because I'm showing you how to do it, I can't really delete them. You can't delete UVs, so that's kind of crappy, but it doesn't matter. So what I'm just gonna do is, if you press U, you come up with this menu. It says UV unwrapping. What you just want to do is Smart UV project, and don't worry about all this, just press OK, and it should come up with this. Or if you're on a different model other than mine, it will come up with something different, but as long as it works with the normal map, as long as it looks similar, I suppose. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. It can be completely different. Hell, it could turn out like that, whatever. Yeah. And what we want to do is add a new image. So you can call this whatever. I'm just going to call this normal map. I always do this. Normal map, and we'll keep the pixels the same. Yeah, because we don't. Yep. And just press OK. So now that we have that, we just tab out of the low poly, select the high poly up here in the, I forgot what it's called, the outliner. Select the high poly in the outliner, and then select, holding shift, select the low poly. You just do that by clicking on it. So clicked on it, I selected the high poly, and now if I hold shift and then clicked on the low poly, I have them both selected. So what I want to do is move over to the render tab on the navigator, is it? The properties tab actually, and just scroll down and go to bake. So I want to go normal. For some reason it's all changed. Hold on, that'll be why. If you just don't mind, this is a model that I've had for a little while, and I already did the vertices and everything. Like, I already did the normal mapping and everything, but just delete that texture. So if you go to the material tab, you can just press the X on it and it'll delete it. So if I just go normal, for some reason it comes up with this stuff. It's different to how I remember it, but I don't know, this might just be the new version of Unity. So what I want to do is go selected to active, and under margin I want to tick selected to active, and under margin I want to make that 2, and I think that's it. Now I know why it's come up with that. I'm on cycles render, so if you just go over to blender render, sorry about that, that's stupid of me. Yeah. Okay, hopefully this works well. Like I said, we want to be under the bake, and we want to select normals. Also, if you're in cycles render as well, just make sure you have it on blender render up here. So if you normals selected to active, margin 2, and you're ready to bake. So make sure you have those two selected. It has to be high poly selected first and then low poly, otherwise it would not work. So if you press bake, if you have a slow computer like mine, well, mine isn't. Okay, according to some things, my computer is high end, so I really do recommend a good computer. Otherwise, this will take forever. So as you can see, it's taking a little while here, and I'm just gonna pause it and wait till it's all baked. Okay, we are back, and oh boy, did that take a long time. So hopefully it doesn't look too messed up, like sort of mine does. It sort of does. We've got the few problems there. We got the green happening there and there. That's just problems from me not marking the seams accurately, like properly. But those are fairly unnoticeable details. because I have used this exact normal map before on this exact model and it turned out absolutely fine, apart from the up and down keys, but because are black, and that's for a reason, because I did not separate them from the model, but that's the only problem I had. So yeah, what we want to do now is just press F3 to save the image. So mine's called Aerobabe, but I'm just going to call it Untitled. Overwrite that normal map, yes. So now that we've done that, let's try to see something. I don't think this is... No, it's not. Oh boy, that's... Please don't tell me I have to render that all again. Alt-H. Alt-H, no I don't. It's all good. It's all good. Nothing to worry about. That was closer. Seriously, I thought I would have to render that again. And that did take a long time, trust me. So anyways, now that we've got our normal map, what we want to do is we just sort of make sure this high poly isn't in sight. We don't really want to see that. We just want to line everything back up with our model. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's certainly not gonna be. Let's put that there. By the way, where these objects are in the world will not affect its normal map. So, you know, this can be over there, and it won't matter unless, of course, you had world or object selected. You make sure your normal spacing is tangent. Yeah. So just wanna move that back. Yeah, that's fine. And put that there. That's perfect, isn't it? Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, so now that we've got everything in line, we want to go to the materials tab. We'll do this in cycles render actually. No, we won't. No, not yet. We'll go ambient occlusion, and we sort of just want to forget everything that just happened there. Whoops. Control Y. No, Control Shift Z. 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 Okay, we've got that. Shift Z. Shift Z. Shift Z. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. We got everything working now. We just wanna forget everything that I just practically said. Just don't do what I just did. Just Control Z to a point where the things of the low poly are still spaced out. Because I forgot, we want to do an ambient occlusion baking, and what that is ambient occlusion is just light from the world, just sort of surrounding it everywhere, and then it just picks up on the details that can't get any light from the world, and you know, it makes the shadow, and that sort of makes the texture where the shadow should be. It makes sense in my head. I'll put, okay, for my last tutorial video I had a bunch of things explaining the normal mapping and everything, and I'm going to do the same in this video. So if you look in the description and you want to know what ambient occlusion, I'll probably grab something from Wikipedia and put it in there. So anyways, you want to do an ambient occlusion bake, so if we still have these both selected, make sure there's no material, yep, and then just bake it yet again, and we're gonna wait. We get to wait more time. So yeah, I'm gonna pause this yet again. Okay, so as you can see, our bake has rendered. Oh, so one thing that I recommend doing is try not doing anything processor / GPU heavy while rendering these. Otherwise, it will extend the time amount. And also, if you're doing anything that is, as I say, GPU / processor heavy, it will lag it out more. what you're doing. Also try not doing anything in Blender. But yeah, anyways, we got our AO bake here. As you can see, it's filled in the shadows where the world's light cannot reach it. And so what we want to use is this as a texture. This is how we're going to use as a texture, if that makes sense. It will eventually. I'm just going to make that AO bake Holo 2. Just... Does anybody have those files where it's just like called untitled, just everything good for? Because you used every other untitled thing. Yeah, I have a lot of them. Anyways, we want to go new material. I forgot we're doing. Gonna do this in cycles render. So now we do not need that. So if you just drag that back over, it'll get rid of it. You should see an arrow, if that makes sense. So we're gonna do this in cycles render. Make sure you can't see the high poly and line it back up. You already saw me do this, so I'm going to pause. So one quick note, you will need the original picture in order to line it up perfectly as it was before, unless you just want to roll your own way, add something different and have these randomly over the model. But you know, I just realized that, you know, because I moved these down, it just kind of ends up in a different spot. But yeah, I kind of tried to align them with how they are in this picture. It worked close enough, but yeah, don't know why I just paused it. I realized we have everything in line. Anyways, so what we're going to do is new material. Yes, we want diffuse, but I just realized we do need this. So if we drag this back over again, this time we're going to be going node editor. We're going to be using nodes, this scary part. Hold on. Anyways, what was I saying? We need yeah, this scary stuff of node editing. It is pretty annoying, but also relatively easy. So we just want to pull out these by pressing Shift A, go input, texture coordinate. We need a texture coordinate, an image texture, that's under texture, and then vector normal map. So yep, we have all them in line, and then go UV, vector, color to that color, open untitled, and drag this. By the way, I'm just clicking on this and then linking them, and then into normal, and it's done. That is practically all that it is, except we have to go new UV map, and then if we just render this, we want that plane. So also just have this have a plane here. You create a plane, rotate it, make it so it's about aiming at the model from a side, because we want to catch the shadow that's going to be happening here on the circular area that indents on the side there. I only have emission. I set it to emission, so under surface you set it to emission rather than diffuse, because it was diffused before, and then go strength. I made it 3. Also we want, pretty sure we had another one. No? Is that seriously just it? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because this is very bright, the world. And you see, we get our indentation going on. It's not exactly perfect, as you can see happening there with the shadow, but that doesn't really matter. No, not at all. So yeah, we got the normal map, but we need to mix it with a texture. So if we go back over to our low poly, this is the fun part where we open up Gimp. So what you want to do is, Pale, love the game. Where did I save it to again? Ah yeah, shortcuts, Blender stuff. And let's aerobake too. So as you can see, we got our aerobake going on here. We'll just edit that in. Edit that in. Just pop it in here. So if we just go input, no, it's fine. If we just go texture, image texture, UV. Oh, no, UV. Diffuse or glossy? What do we want? Shader. There we go. Do we want diffuse or glossy? Go diffusey. Diffuse to start off with, and then just go color. Link that up there. Open aerobake Holo 2. I forgot how I did this. I've done this. I did this before. I think it then goes mix shader. No, it can't be. That's right. No, don't need our mix shader. Just link them back up. We just go material output. Pretty sure. No. Okay then. Maybe. Just maybe. It goes mix shader. Mix shader. But instead, that one goes there. I have absolutely no idea. No, that is definitely not how it went. Yeah, I just gotta... Add shader. That'll probably be it. Yeah, add shader. No, it can't be. What is it? That is very bright. It's blinded. I feel blinded. I'm sorry this is taking a while. I'll just pause this. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna make the texture. Close. Gimp. Open up Gimp. I'll have a link to download Gimp and Blender, just in case you don't have either, in the description. I should probably just copy the description from the other video. Oh, that's a good idea. Kidding. But yeah. Just in case you didn't know, Gimp is a... Hold on. Anyways, Gimp, as I was saying, is a image manipulation program. You know, use it for retouching images and everything, fixing them up, and in this case, texturing. So what we want to do is we just have an aerobake and drag it into Gimp. It should open up. And what we want to do is we're gonna take the easy way out of things. We could properly, like, do this properly, you know. If we had a graphics tablet and everything, you can do that if you absolutely want to. If you're really good at texturing, and you know you are, I recommend doing that. It is the better way, but I'm just gonna, like I said, take the easy way out. So I'm just gonna find one of Blender. No, I just want to find a metal texture. So I have one here. This is perfect, in fact. So what I want to do is create a new layer. Okay, drag it onto that. Okay, because it's not as big as we want it to be, because it's not 2048 by 2048, it's of lower resolution, it doesn't fit the whole picture. So hopefully this is seamless. And what we'll be able to do is, if we add alpha channel, we want to make sure we do that, and then go layer to image size, Control A, select everything. Use this little tool up here, it looks like a torch, I don't know what it's called, fuzzy select tool, and we just want to select this transparent area, hold control, click on it, now we have this selected. Now we just want to use the selection tool and press Control C, Control V, and move it up just by dragging. If you hold Control and move up, it will lock it to a certain axis. So I can only say move it along the x-axis or the y-axis. Am I saying that right? Am I pronouncing that right? I don't think I am. But who cares? Not you. It doesn't really matter, does it? I don't think it doesn't. It will matter. That it's not seamless. We'll figure out in the end. So yeah, Control. If it does matter, we'll just do something simple and use this smudge tool. It will look kind of weird in the end, but who cares? The metal kind of looks weird. If we just keep going over it, it will look better. Just keep telling yourself that it will look better, and in your mind it will. Not in real life though, it doesn't look better. Anyways, what we want to do is, for some reason that's on a different layer, so we can just delete this layer. I was hoping to go to the other layer. And we want to make the mode and choose multiply. Hopefully that works well. What I'm just gonna do here is, as you can see down here, just it kind of I'm trying to figure out a way to explain this. Kind of makes seems like the metal texture has just been pasted onto there, and that's exactly what's happened. But what I mean is, because this goes down, it's going to end up with a kind of different metal texture than the rest of the body here. So like that scratch continues on into here, and it really shouldn't, because that's not what would really happen. So we're just going to fix that up, fixed up close enough, and then do the same with the other side once we find it. So I'm just using I'm using the clipboard version because it's like a solid image, but and it's like square and everything. It just sort of makes smudging easier, but I'll select this circular one. Yeah, it's not perfect, and this texture isn't supposed to be. If you're a perfectionist, I recommend grabbing a seamless image, or even just making it yourself. It would be a lot better. This is a very basic tutorial, and any future tutorials or previous tutorials as I've done are basic. Just letting you know that. Yeah, so now what we want to do is, because I've already made all this, I don't think we need to do anything else. Nope. Override Aerobake Holo 2, or if you don't have that option, just export as, and just call it whatever, something that you need to know the name of, just something so that you'll remember it. So now we don't need this, but I'm just going to keep that up just in case, because I have had previous experience where the texture does kind of look messed up, as in, like, you know, the scratches are way too big, and it probably will end up being the case, but we'll find out. So if we select Aerobake Holo 2, do we get a different output? I don't think we do. No, we don't. So we want to try with the add shader. this didn't end up working. So I don't suppose two things can go into this. Nope. Wait on, hold on. If I just go mix shader, make sure that's at the top, and then put that at the bottom. No, it still overrides it. I do not know how to do this. I'm seriously sorry to say. I forgot how to do it. I did it before and it worked a lot better. I think I had two outputs though, I'm almost certain of it. Maybe it's because it's connected to that. If I just go text recorder and then F12. Oop, still nothing. By the way, I would just remember. Oh yeah, with this image texture of the normal map, what we want to do is go non-color data. It'll work a lot better. Give me a minute to figure this out. That's Blender. That's Gimp. I just realized how much of an idiot I am. I spent a little while just like trying to figure this out, and I have figured it out. So I'm still going to use this, but go image texture, and that into vector. Going to open up the same image, and what we want to do is move up this normal map, color to color. That's how much of an idiot I am. It's simple as that. It has to go into color, and that's how much I've been failing. We'll move this up actually, and this down. I don't really like it when these sort of go over each other. Yeah. So yeah, now we have them, and hopefully. Text is way too dark. It's because of the world. I made it really dark world because for some reason it looked nice. I wonder if I can make a really nice world. No, I can't. That's fine. Yeah. We can see the fails in my texturing here, like how I tried smoothing it out. But that doesn't matter. It worked. It's all good. Like I said, you didn't have to do what I just did. It's completely up to you. Just try and get a seamless texture, a better texture than what I got. I just randomly found that on my computer and figured, oh, that'd be good enough. Yeah. So that is practically everything done. So yeah. That's it. I haven't got anything else to say. So anyways, links to Blender and Gimp will be down below. I also have explanations to all of the things that have been said in this video. And yeah, as always, see you guys next time. Also, if you want to see another tutorial like this, of anything, tell me. I'll see if I can do it. Okay, bye.